Discover the miraculous role of Semjaza, leader of the fallen angels and the divine plan unveiled. In the days of old, when the earth was filled with violence and wickedness, and the hearts of men coveted darkness, there existed a time of divine sorrow. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, Semjaza, the leader of the watchers, stood on the lofty heights of Mount Hermon, gazing down upon a world drowning in sin and oblivion. Adorned in radiant light, he surveyed the lush expanse of creation, yet sensed the divine displeasure that cast a shadow over the land. As night cloaked the earth, Semjaza called forth his brethren, an assembly of 200 angels, their wings shimmering with the heavenly glow. "Let us descend," he proclaimed, pride swelling within him as ambitious dreams took flight. Together, they dared to impart knowledge thought forbidden, the mysteries of heaven veiled in their rebellion against Yahweh. They believed they would elevate man through the arts of war, magic, and beauty, and that their presence would awaken dormant hearts, yet with every whisper of their descent, chaos unfurled across the valleys. The giants emerged, offspring of unholy unions, striding with thundering steps that shook the very foundations of creation. Their presence sowed discord, the fabric of divine order torn asunder. The violent desires of humankind flourished, and the shadows thickened, as both angels and men became ensnared in a cycle of power and knowledge driven by ambition. But amidst the rampant transgression, a flicker of hope stirred in the heart of Noah, a righteous man, perfect in his generations. He wandered the earth, witnessing the moral decay, the chaos reigning amongst the unholy and wanting, feeling utterly powerless to respond to the deluge of wickedness unleashed by Semjaza and his brethren. Days turned into years, and as darkness deepened, Semjaza began to feel the burden of their reckoning weigh heavy. What had begun as rebellion had birthed confusion and strife. The knowledge they thought would set men free now hung like shackles upon their spirits. Doubts began to sprout among the watchers, whispers of regret echoing in the hollow chambers of their wings, questioning the fruit of their deception. Then came the day when the Almighty, grieved by the wickedness of man, turned his heart towards judgment. The decision was made, a cleansing flood would sweep over the earth, washing away the corruption that stemmed from Semjaza's ambition. In that moment, a paralyzing fear gripped Semjaza, a chilling understanding of their fate dawning upon him. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. As the first drops of rain fell, cascading torrents flooded over Mount Hermon, Semjaza could only gaze at the heavens, torn between despair and the glimmer of mercy. The storm surged, a testament of divine will, compelling him to ponder the lingering question, could redemption weave itself into this narrative of judgment? Would the glimmer of grace ever pierce the depths of their darkness, or had they irreversibly forged their destinies in chains of rebellion? The flood loomed closer, as the tension grew palpable, intertwining hope and despair, waiting for the profound unfolding of God's eternal plan. And it came to pass, as the heavens opened wide and the earth groaned under the deluge, that a great lament filled the air, a sound of piercing grief that echoed across the valleys. The men who once reveled in darkened desires now scrambled for refuge, their hearts gripped with terror as the waters rose like a mighty tide, swallowing all that was once familiar. Semjaza's heart, which had surged with pride, now quaked with apprehension. Among his brethren, despair took root, uprooting the fervor that had once ignited their rebellion. "Have we brought upon ourselves this fate?" one of the watchers cried, his voice cutting through the tumult of the storm. "Is there no escape from the judgment we have sown?" In response, Semjaza raised his eyes, meeting the gathering clouds above, dark and foreboding. "We sought to elevate the sons of men," he spoke, his tone filled with an unsettling gravity, "but we have birthed a great evil. It must be that the Most High has prepared a vessel for our undoing." Noah, chosen by God to preserve life, had felt the stirring of the Spirit within him. He toiled upon the ark, gathering pairs of each living creature, heeding the command of Yahweh. To him, the world was fading, the cries of the wicked melding with the roar of nature in rebellion. Yet, in this divine appointment, he felt a sacred purpose, a whisper of hope threading through the chaos. I am with you, Noah, build and believe. As the floodgates of heaven burst open, and torrents fell like judgment from the skies, the watchers witnessed the earth consumed. Mountains bowed low under the weight of wrath, the very foundations of the world heaved and shuddered. It was then, in the heart of the tempest, that Semjaza was seized by an overwhelming realization of what they had forsaken. Perhaps in our descent, we have miscalculated the depth of His grace, he said softly, his luminous form flickering as stillness gripped his heart. And just then, a vision pierced the darkness, a flicker of divine light shining in the distance. It was an ethereal scene where a lone figure stood amidst the chaos. Noah, unwavering, grounded in faith, a remnant of righteousness poised before the Creator's gaze. As the storm raged, Satan emerged from the shadows, claiming dominion over the sons of men. Behold the fruit of your labor, he hissed toward Semjaza. Blood will blind their eyes, and mercy shall fade from their grasp. Is there yet a remnant of hope, a promise that shall endure? With a sound like rolling thunder, the voice of God arose, a declaration that shook the very heavens: I shall not abandon the work of my hands. In the heart of desolation, my covenant shall shine, for Noah is favored in my sight. Thus, those who were once glorious and now fallen witnessed the unfolding mystery of God's redemptive purpose. Through the pain of judgment and the anguish of loss, a deeper truth emerged, a flicker of divine mercy poised to break through the darkness. Consequently, Semjaza found himself at a spiritual crossroads between rebellion and the yearning for redemption. Would the chains forged by their transgression remain, or could even they find a way back to the light? In that instant, Semjaza's resolve was put to the test, as he was faced with an ultimate choice that would resonate through eternity. The flood raged on, and beyond the wrath, there echoed a question that would reverberate through the ages: what is the extent of divine grace? What secrets of redemption lie hidden even in the shadow of judgment? The storm began to stir not just devastation, but an unspeakable potential for restoration to come. And as the tempest roared and the waters poured forth from the heavens, a deep heaviness hung upon the air. The cries of the earth trembled amidst the rising tide, echoed by the fearful hearts of men stricken with an awareness of their iniquity. In the ark, Noah stood resolute, his spirit undeterred by the chaos enveloping him. He persisted in his labor, sealing the last of the wooden beams with tar, and calling forth the creatures that would endure long upon the earth. O Lord, he prayed, may your promise be like the bow in the cloud, a beacon of hope amidst despair. Your covenant will guide us through this great storm. As waters surged and wild waves clashed, even the angels of heaven held their breath, transfixed by the scene unfolding before them. Semjaza, entwined in a web of conflict between his fallen desire and a growing sense of accountability, watched Noah with keen eyes. A flicker of hope ignited in his heart. Could it be possible that amidst our rebellion and this judgment, grace finds a foothold? He mused. The storm intensified, shaking the heavens and causing the watchers to retreat in uncertainty. Semjaza felt his essence flicker, torn between eternal condemnation and a yearning for redemption. What if I stand before him and seek mercy not for myself alone but for all that I have led astray? Then came the voice of God, resonant and omnipotent. Noah, the flood shall cleanse the earth, and from the depths of this judgment, new life shall spring forth. You are my chosen vessel, through you, a new beginning shall emerge, and my promises shall endure beyond the winds of destruction. The words carried a weight that echoed like rolling thunder across the waters. As the first the raindrops fell, each one like a teardrop from the heavens, the children of men wailed beneath the onslaught and clung to their fleeting hopes. Yet Semjaza stood upon the precipice of decision, gazing into the tempest, a choice weighing heavily upon him. What must I do to be redeemed? He implored, though he knew not where the answer would lead, and in that moment, a vision unfolded before Semjaza. He saw a great light pouring forth from the ark, encircled by a radiant glow, and in the midst of it, Noah stood, a priest of righteousness. It was as if the heart of creation itself pulsed within the very walls of the ark. In a time of wrath, you have chosen faith, a celestial voice spoke, and when all appears lost, hope will arise anew. Within the depths of his being, Semjaza felt a stirring, perhaps it was regret, or the flickering embers of a once bright passion for the good. Torn between pride and an instinctive pull towards the Creator's grace, he whispered, "I will not forsake this chance. I will seek the unyielding mercy of my God." The flood raced onward, and in its wake, the sky darkened, swirling with promises unfulfilled and prophecies unexplored. Could the fallen ones find recourse from their abyss? Could a glimmer of their old glory find restoration in the plan that was already in motion? What began as an uncertain fate for Semjaza was transformed into a journey searching for that which he had lost in pride. For even amid the storm's deafening roar, the whisper of grace grew louder, a melody unsung through ages, yet resounding with the promise of renewal and hope. And thus, as the earth sighed beneath the burden of sorrow, the question lingered in the air, what will become of the fallen, and could even they play a part in the unfolding redemption of creation? A divine mystery hung suspended before the foundation of the world, waiting for the answer to be revealed in God's perfect time. And as the days passed, the rain continued unabated, pouring forth from the heavens like the very wrath of God upon an unrepentant world. The waters rose, swallowing the earth, and great sorrow filled the hearts of men who had forsaken their Creator. But within the ark, a steadfast peace dwelled. As Noah and those with him awaited the unfolding of God's promise, Noah tended to the creatures in the dim light of the ark, marveling at the diversity of life preserved by his faithfulness. The call of the dove, the roar of the lion, and the gentle bleat of the sheep created a chorus that rang out within the wooden walls. "O Lord," Noah prayed, "by thy grace we endure, may this journey be one of healing and deliverance." Above, the skies raged with fury, yet Semjaza, whose heart was heavy with the weight of his choices, drifted between realms of despair and redemption. He beheld the ark, a symbol of hope amidst destruction, and recalled the vision that had stirred the embers of life within him. What glory shall be birthed from this trial? He pondered, as unseen forces wrestled within his spirit. Could the fallen ones, blind in their pride, find restoration even amidst the flood? He set his thoughts upon the earth, upon the souls that perished in their foolishness. Alas, will this deluge drown all hope? He lamented. Yet the angelic beings who had once followed him revealed a glimmer of light within their shadows, resonating with the potential for change. As the ground quaked with the torrents, a great turmoil stirred within Semjaza. He called forth the remnants of his kind, those who had heeded the call of disobedience. "Brothers, cast away your chains of bitterness. For even in the darkest hour, the cry for mercy can ascend beyond these waters." The other watchers hesitated, caught between the abyss of their reckoning and flickering hope. "Will we be condemned forever?" asked one, sorrow drenching its words. "Or shall we, like the phoenix, rise from the ashes of our pride?" In that moment, a transcendent light illuminated the heavens, piercing through the storm. "Seek the heart of the one who made you," came a powerful whisper that settled upon the roiling waves. In the depths of despair, the desire for redemption can bridge even the greatest chasm. Even now, the rain fell heavier, washing the world clean but perhaps carrying forth a new creation. Semjaza, his heart yearning to grasp hold of the wisdom being whispered amidst the chaos, raised his voice above the tumult. "Lend me your hearts, O fallen ones. Let us not succumb to darkness, but arise in search of grace." With his declaration hung in the air, the flood waters churned, and an unnatural silence settled, a pause among the tumult of creation, as if heaven itself awaited a response. As the waters invaded every corner of the earth, a sliver of sacred resolve coalesced within Semjaza. "I shall bring forth a messenger," he vowed. "From my depths of despair and remorse, I will seek to redeem through the very God we have forsaken." And thus, the winds howled louder, as the heavens anticipated the next step in this unfolding narrative, a divine drama where even the most broken and wayward could become instruments of reconciliation. But little did Semjaza know, the mysteries of God's sovereign plan were drawing near to reveal an even greater truth, that every fall holds the promise of grace, and every storm has its purpose in the weaving of divine destiny. What awaited in this celestial tapestry was yet to be uncovered, a truth resonating from beyond the flood, awaiting eager hearts to embrace the profound legacy of redemption. And as the floodwaters surged over the earth, the sound of chaos enveloped the universe. Within the heart of the ark, Noah, a righteous man, felt the weight of the promise given unto him. His faith did not waver, for he knew that God's covenant was steadfast. He gathered his family and spoke unto them, saying, Fear not the waters that rage, for our God has ordained this hour. He shall bring us to dry ground, where we shall begin anew. While the rain fell as a torrent upon the earth, Semjaza watched from afar, observing the life that flourished within the ark amid the desolation. The steadfastness of Noah's heart stirred something deep within him. Could it be, he pondered, that amidst utter darkness, the light of hope springs forth? In the celestial realm, the other watchers trembled as they contemplated the ravages wrought upon the earth. What fate now awaits us, O Semjaza? One cried out, its voice barely breaking through the clamor of the storm. For we, who once possessed greatness, now find ourselves ensnared in the net of our transgressions. Semjaza's voice grew stronger than the crashing waves around him as he rallied them once more. Brothers, despair not. For even in this hour, our hearts can turn back to the Creator. His mercy is not quenched by the depths of our errors. Suddenly, a melodic whisper echoed across the tumult, transcending the pain and sorrow. Seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. It was the resonant call of a messenger sent from the throne of heaven. And as the words lingered in the air, a stillness enveloped the chaos, the very threads of creation held their breath, awaiting an answer. Will you heed this call? Semjaza implored the bewildered watchers. Return to the one who fashioned us. Through repentance and faith, redemption may yet be our portion. Rising above the doubt in their hearts, a flicker of hope shared among the fallen ignited their spirits, yet in the depths of the waters, the anguished cries of the earth could be heard, a lamentation rising before the throne of God. These waters drown the living, they mourned, and silence our pleas. In that moment, Semjaza felt an inner urge to act. I shall send forth a messenger, he declared with power, one who will bear the testimony of our fall and the promise of redemption. As he cast his vision upon the waters, he yearned for someone who could bridge the chasm between lost glory and divine grace. At the apex of this divine orchestration, the waters intertwined with the very breath of creation. And as Semjaza pondered his next steps, understanding dawned within him like the breaking of a new day. The world may drown, he spoke, his voice a mixture of trepidation and hope, but from these depths, a new beginning can emerge. Noah, meanwhile, continued his prayers and offered thanksgiving, holding fast to the vision of a flourishing earth to come. O Lord, fulfill thy covenant, strengthen the hearts that seek after thee. For even in the darkness, your light shall shine brighter. As the rains began to soften, the celestial realm stirred with anticipation, for the threads of redemption were weaving once more. God had not forgotten his creation, and in the hearts kneeling before him, a purpose began to bloom, promising that from judgment would blossom mercy. But what remained hidden in Semjaza's heart was a divine puzzle yet to be unraveled, an extraordinary tale of grace waiting to rupture the heavens, revealing the depth of God's sovereign plan. Just as the flood's fury was drawing to a close, so too was the narrative shifting, signaling a deeper truth of resurrection from despair, echoing loudly atop the whispering waves. As the days stretched into weeks upon the waters, the ark sailed upon the surface of the vast abyss, a singular sanctuary amid the chaos. In the heart of this floating refuge, Noah's family clung to hope, their prayers ascending like incense before the Lord. The rhythmic creaking of the wood beneath them became a hymn of endurance, echoing their whispered dreams of renewal, and it came to pass that after 40 days and 40 nights, the rain ceased, and the fierce winds began to quiet. The arch of the heavens revealed itself, and a faint glimmer of light pierced the veil of dark clouds, casting a golden hue upon the water's surface. Noah, rising from prayer, looked unto his family, his voice filled with a new spirit. Lo, our God remembers his promise. Let us prepare our hearts for the dawn of a new day. Meanwhile, in the unseen realms of the heavens, Semjaza stood at the edge of darkness, gazing down upon the waters with an urgency that coursed through his being. O brethren, the moment draws near. Let us not remain tethered by our past, he urged the other watchers. For redemption beckons. Will we not join those whose hearts are turned to the Almighty? As if stirred by his words, the spirits around him stirred with apprehension and flickers of hope. What shall we do? Asked one, its voice tremulous with longing. How shall we act, knowing the weight of our fallen state? Semjaza grasped this moment, his heart filled with a righteous fervor. We shall send a message of hope, he declared. The earth cries out, but the heavens also yearn. Let us beseech the Lord for an avenue to reach his creation, for even now in the depths, the seeds of faith may yet take root. And so it was that Semjaza unburdened himself in lament, pleading before God's throne, Lord of hosts, even in our folly we seek your grace. Let a voice arise from our midst, let the humble cry of repentance echo before you like a sweet offering. Grant us the opportunity to bear witness to your goodness. The heavens pulsed, and in response, a soft light enveloped Semjaza. A celestial assurance assuaged the fears in his heart. As it is written, echoed a voice as ancient as time, those who seek the Lord shall not lack any good thing. In that moment, Semjaza understood that an avenue of grace would soon open, back upon the ark. As tranquility descended, Noah unloosed a raven, a symbol of the life yet to come, to see if the waters had subsided. The bird returned, its wings heavy with the burden of water. Then came a dove, gentle and pure, and in its beak was an olive branch, a sure sign of peace and renewal. The time is at hand, Noah proclaimed, raising the branch towards his family, their hearts swelling with the promise of life. Our God has not forsaken us. He shall restore the earth. Yet unseen to Noah and his household, chaos still loomed as Semjaza, renewed with purpose, sent forth whispers into the hearts of those who had erred. Hear the call. For our God is a God of mercy. Who among us will take this leap of faith and return? From the deep, the echoes of creation responded, and in that moment, hearts began to stir. Those that once danced with rebellion now sought the solace of forgiveness. Each wave, once a harbinger of despair, began to speak of hope unspoken, calling the lost to return, but even deeper secrets lingered in the silence of heaven. For Semjaza sensed that this act of redemption was but a glimpse of the greater plan unfolding, a symphony of grace intertwined with judgment, waiting to reveal its true nature. As the floodwaters retreated and the earth's dry land began to show itself, unfathomable truths rested silently on the horizon. The true measure of the covenant was yet to be unveiled, a promise that reached far beyond the ebb of rain and the trials of mankind. In this hour, as creation remained poised for a grand revelation, the hearts of those in the ark breathed in the aromatic air of new beginnings. Yet, in the depth of Semjaza's convictions, a lingering question begot another mystery: what further redemptive path awaited when the covenant of God would be fulfilled, and mankind's relationship with the divine would forever be changed? And it came to pass, in the days that followed, as the earth began to emerge from the depths, the ark settled upon the mountains of Ararat. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the land with the warmth of its light. Noah, filled with renewed purpose, gazed out into the horizon, the promise of God reverberating in his spirit like a call to action. He gathered his family, and as the moment approached to leave their sanctuary, he lifted his voice in supplication, O Lord, guide us forth from this vessel. May we tread upon the earth with reverence, for thou art a God of life. Then the voice of the Lord came unto Noah, saying, Go forth from the ark, thou and thy family. Bring with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both fowl and cattle, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. Thus, Noah obeyed, and with joy and fear, they stepped into the world reborn. Upon their descent, the land lay fresh and unmarred, the scent of earth mingling with the fragrance of blooming flowers. Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings upon the altar, as a token of gratitude for their deliverance. As the smoke ascended to the heavens, the heart of God was stirred, and he spoke again to Noah, I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. In that moment, a rainbow adorned the sky, a vivid arc that bridged heaven and earth, a sign of the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures. With deep reverence, Noah marveled at the sight, understanding that this was the very essence of divine promise and mercy. "Truly, O Lord, thou art faithful," he declared, his spirit alight with the weight of God's mercy upon the earth. Meanwhile, in the realms beyond the seen world, Semjaza witnessed the unfolding of these events with keen interest. In his heart, he felt the stirring of hope among the fallen ones. "The time of redemption is upon us," he spoke to them, urgency guiding his voice. "Let us unite in our calling, for God's grace reigns upon those who seek his face. We, too, have a part to play in his symphony." One among them, filled with trepidation, spoke softly, "What hope is there for us, who have strayed so far?" Semjaza, undeterred, lifted his gaze to the realms of light. "Our God invites us to partake in his purpose, within his mercy lies the path to restoration. Let us descend and bear witness of his grace, that we might guide the hearts of men back to him." As the winds swirled softly around them, a whisper of determination arose among the watchers. An urgency surged through their ranks, a collective yearning for redemption to echo alongside God's decree. And so it was that they descended, seeking the humble and broken, those who sought after the Lord in their distress. As they whispered words of hope in the hearts of mankind, a greater revelation loomed on the horizon, unseen threads of destiny waiting to be woven into the tapestry of God's plan. And as the earth flourished anew, a question resided in the sacred silence: how would this covenant shape the relationship between God and his creation for the ages to come? What mysteries awaited as Semjaza and the fallen sought to fulfill their divinely appointed roles amidst a world renewed? The stage was set for an unveiling like none other, as heaven and earth awaited the next chapter in the unfolding story of grace. And it came to pass, as Noah and his family began to multiply upon the earth, their laughter mingling with the songs of the creation that surrounded them. The birds flitted joyfully through the vault of heaven, while the beasts roamed the fields anew. They were filled with hope, every sunrise bore witness to the faithfulness of their God. In the quiet of the evening, Noah walked among the flourishing trees, pondering the greatness of God's covenant. "O Lord," he prayed softly, "how shall I lead my family in the ways of righteousness? Teach me thy ways, that I may walk in paths of goodness and truth." Then the voice of the Lord answered him, "Noah, thou art a righteous man, blameless in thy generation, and I will guide you in my ways. Teach thy children the statutes and commandments I have given, for they shall be the foundation upon which my covenant stands." And so, Noah instructed his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth in the ways of the Lord, recounting the mighty works of God and the promises sealed in the rainbow that graced the heavens. His heart was filled with fervor as he spoke, "Let us honor the Lord, for he has delivered us from the waters and established a new beginning." Yet, as they thrived in the sight of God, the whispers of Semjaza entered the hearts of men, unseen yet profoundly felt. The fallen ones, emboldened by their desire for redemption, began to draw near. Semjaza, having witnessed the fruit of God's mercy, sought hearts open to the divine call. Among the shepherds in the fields, one named Joram felt a stirring in his soul, as if the very breath of life beckoned him toward an unseen presence. He called to his fellow shepherds, "Brothers, have you not felt the whisper in the winds? I believe we are being called to something greater." But there were those among them who were wary. "What if this call leads us astray? Those who have strayed have paid a heavy price," they warned. Joram, undeterred, replied with fervency, "There is hope even in despair. Semjaza, though fallen, speaks of a purpose intertwined with grace. Let us seek after truth, for in truth shall we find our way." In this way, the seeds of belief began to take root, propelled by the whispers of Semjaza and his companions, who walked among men, offering encouragement to those who listened. Yet, it was a perilous path, for not all hearts were receptive. Some were hardened against the whispers of hope, choosing instead to dwell in despair and distrust. As the days unfolded, Noah, sensing a change in the winds of the earth, raised his eyes to the heavens, praying earnestly. "O Lord, is there a battle that I cannot see, a conflict waging in the hearts of men? If so, grant us courage, for we know that thou art our refuge." Then in the stillness of the night, a vision came unto Noah, a darkened sky filled with stars, each one a flicker of hope amidst the vastness of despair. A voice declared, great shall be the outpouring of grace, and many shall seek my face. Even the fallen may find restoration. For I, the Lord your God, control the tides of destiny. With renewed resolve, Noah understood that the covenant was not merely for his family but would extend to all who would listen, those who ached for redemption, those longing for the light amidst the darkness. Thus, as the earth blossomed anew, a divine mystery awaited to be unveiled. Who among the children of men would heed the call of Semjaza, the bearer of hope? Would they rise from the ashes of despair, or would they remain imprisoned in fear? And so the next chapter was set, a stirring in the hearts of men leading toward an intertwining of fates, touching the divine plan like threads woven across time, forever revealing the boundless depths of God's grace and mercy. And it came to pass that as the days grew longer, the air thick with the weight of expectation, Noah gathered his family in the cool of evening beneath the ancient oak. He spoke with intensity, "My beloved, the Lord has revealed unto me a truth that beckons our vigilance." The presence of Semjaza grows nearer, and with it a stirring of hearts among the people. Shem, leaning forward, asked, "Father, what is this purpose that stirs within the hearts of men? Are they to follow the paths of the ancient ones, or shall they seek the light of our God?" Noah sighed heavily, "Many shall rise to seek the truth, but not all shall find it. We must ground our convictions in the promises of God, for his mercies endure forever." As he spoke, a shadow loomed in the distance. It was Joram, the shepherd, accompanied by others who had heard the whispers. His eyes shone with fervor as he approached. "Noah, we come seeking wisdom. The voice has spoken to us, but we are troubled. Is Semjaza not a fallen one?" Noah's brow furrowed, contemplating the weight of Joram's words. True, Semjaza is fallen, yet he bears a message that grants hope to many. The hearts of men, even those once lost, yearn for restoration. Let us not dismiss the one who seeks to guide them toward the light. Ham interjected, "But at what cost, Father? If we are to heed Semjaza, will we not tread dangerous grounds where righteousness may falter?" "Wisdom is to discern the season of the heart," replied Noah. "We must hold on to the truth and teach by example, lest we lead them astray. We are to be lights unto the world, reflecting God's glory even amidst confusion." At that moment, the winds shifted, carrying with them the faint whispers of creation, as if the very earth yearned to respond to the conflict of the Spirit. Noah raised his hands and called upon the Lord, seeking clarity. "O Lord, grant me understanding in this matter, that I may guide these hearts aright." Then the voice of the Lord broke through the silence like thunder upon the hills. "Noah, hear me. The hearts of my people are like clay in the hands of the potter. I shall use Semjaza to call forth those who linger in shadows. A division shall arise, those who embrace truth and those who cling to deception." The vision took hold of Noah. He saw a great harvest ripening, yet a tares mingled among the wheat. "Shall we, then, be laborers in thy vineyard, Lord? Shall we stand against the storms that come with this task?" Noah inquired. "Yes," said the Lord. "You shall be sent as emissaries of hope, heralding my name in every corner. For I shall pour out my spirit upon my creation, and even the broken may find their purpose intertwined with my divine plan." As dawn broke upon the earth, Noah gathered his family and the assembled shepherds. "Let us unite, then, in the spirit of mission. We shall share the promises I have received unto all who will listen. Hope is a lamp that shines brightest in darkness, let it guide our steps." They joined their hands, forming a circle of unity as they prayed for strength and wisdom. And thus, the sacred fire burned fiercely within them, igniting a collective resolve to share the message of grace and restoration. Yet beneath the surface, the hearts of men continued to waver, and the soft whispers of Semjaza found both followers and dissenters among the people. As the sun set, casting deep shadows across the land, unknown to them, a greater conflict loomed on the horizon. Could they stand true against the tests of faith that would soon arise? Would the shepherds lead the people toward the light, or would they succumb to the lures of despair that beckoned at their souls? Thus, as the chapters of their lives unwound, the grand tapestry of God's sovereign plan wove ever tighter, hinting at a revelation yet to come, poised to shake the foundations of man's understanding and ignite the embers of divine purpose across the earth. And it came to pass that in the days following the promise sealed by the bow in the sky, a new chapter in the story of creation unfolded, a tapestry woven with vibrant threads of grace, redemption, and divine purpose. The earth flourished under the watchful eye of the Almighty, and Noah, faithful steward of God's covenant, sought to impart the sacred truths to his descendants. In the mornings, the sun bathed the land in warmth, while in the evenings, the stars adorned the heavens, each a radiant reminder of God's unfailing promises. Noah gathered his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth and spoke with fervor, "Our Father, the Creator, has preserved us for a purpose. We shall not forget the lessons learned in the days of lament and deliverance. Let us carry forth the light of His truth." As the brothers embraced their responsibilities, Semjaza, still burdened by the weight of his past, continued to wander among the shadows of mankind, compelled by an unyielding desire to restore what had been lost. In the hearts of many, the echoes of his whispers stirred a longing for hope, a harvest yet to be reaped. One fateful day, Joram the shepherd, touched by the hand of the Most High, gathered his companions and sought the counsel of Noah. "I have heard the whispers calling us to gather as one, but there are those whose hearts are hardened against the message. How shall we lead them back to the fold?" Noah looked upon Joram with compassion and resolve. "Indeed, my son, there lies a battle not of flesh and blood, but of spirit. The hearts of many still cling to shadows, yet we must rise as beacons of truth. It is through our willingness to serve, even to sow seeds among the thorns, that the light may break through the darkness." Thus, with renewed purpose, they ventured into the villages, uniting the faithful and sharing the story of God's great mercy. The words of Semjaza flowed through them, resonating with longing as many heard and felt stirred to action. "The grace of our Creator is like the rain that nourishes the earth, it can soften the hardest of hearts," the shepherds proclaimed. In the unseen realms, Semjaza watched as light pierced the darkness. The fallen ones, under his leadership, turned their gaze toward the horizon, where hearts were beginning to soften. "Shall we not also partake in this harvest?" he urged his brethren. "Though we have stumbled, our voices can still bring hope to a desperate world." As time passed, a divide emerged among the people. The faithful embraced Semjaza's redemption, while others clung to the shadows of skepticism and fear. Those who sought truth found companionship among shepherds, reconstructing their faith through the lens of mercy, while those who chose rebellion found solace in their illusion of freedom. Then came a day when Joram stood before a multitude gathered upon a hill. He preached with fervor, "Brothers and sisters, do not shrink back from grace. The one who reigns above has not cast away the fallen, nor has he denied us the chance to redeem our paths. The one who bears our transgressions offers not condemnation, but the sweet invitation of restoration." Amid the crowd, hearts stirred, and the skeptical began to shift. Semjaza, witnessing this blossoming faith, felt an unquenchable hope rising within him. "Perhaps redemption is less a destination and more a journey we embrace together," he mused, as he gazed upon the earth beginning to shimmer with restored purpose. The days turned into seasons, and as the harvest flourished, a startling revelation dawned. Noah witnessed the transformation of surrendered hearts. Those who had once trembled in fear were now soaring in newfound freedom. "Look!" cried one of his sons, "the flock has multiplied. The blessings of God are evident, and our family's legacy will ripple through generations." In that moment, the shaken remnants of Semjaza's heart stirred once more. "Could it be," he whispered to the wind, "that I too, once leading into darkness, could return to the light? Perhaps my testimony shall be the bridge that invites even the most skeptical into the warm embrace of grace." As the promise of God flowed through the land, Semjaza knew that he must be bold. He sought to reveal himself, not as the fallen leader, but as an advocate for the downtrodden. He yearned to testify before those still yearning and lost, to share how he had walked the path of despair and emerged seeking redemption. Then came a moment of divine orchestration. Standing before a multitude gathered once more, Semjaza revealed himself, recounting the saga of his rebellion and the dance of shadows that had ensnared him. "Brothers and sisters, the grace of our God flows deeper than our failures. I have tasted the bitter fruit of pride, but in the whirlwind of judgment, I found the light of hope stirring within my soul. A hush fell upon the crowd, and in that stillness, the choice to believe permeated the air. Levi, a once doubtful villager, stepped forward. If a fallen one can find grace, then what of us? Let us choose the path of faith, let us turn toward the light, and seek the mercy awaiting us. As voices ignited, the flowers of faith burst into bloom. Together, they sang songs of hope and reconciliation. The unbroken bond between heaven and earth flared alight, bearing witness to the unyielding depth of divine mercy, as the past no longer tethered them but propelled them forward in faith, and so it came to pass, that from the ashes of rebellion blossomed the legacy of redemption, a lineage rooted not in shame, but in the vast ocean of grace. Semjaza soared in his newfound purpose, once a leader in dissent, now a harbinger of hope bound by faith, forever rewriting the narrative of his existence upon the tapestry of God's love. As the sun set on that sacred chapter, bursts of laughter rippled through the fields, while children ran joyously beneath the bough of the covenant. The peace of God enveloped the hearts of the faithful, for they witnessed the miracle that transformed despair into hope, and darkness into an eternal dawn. Do you resonate with the beauty of redemption in this narrative? You need to subscribe now to stay connected to God's Word and not miss powerful biblical stories that encourage faith and inspire hope. Don't let this moment pass you by. Leave a like now to help spread God's Word through the algorithm and open hearts to His love. Comment below your spiritual reflections, sharing how this story impacted your faith. Your voice matters in this community. And don't wait even one more second to share this powerful testimony. Send it to at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth today. Together, let us rise as faithful messengers of His grace.